Welcome to Meet the Expert webinar series designed for Google Workspace IT admins. I'm Sergio, Product Enablement Engineer in Google Cloud Billing, and I'm based in Zurich, Switzerland. This is the first session of a new admin webinar series for Google Workspace, and today I'm here with my colleague and co-host Tim, who is going to introduce this webinar's format.
Hello everyone, I'm Tim, Product Enablement Engineer from Google Cloud Billing, and I'm based in Waterloo, Canada. This session is for people who want to set up a new workspace account either for their business or for their family and don't have a domain yet. We will provide you with the first steps for getting your organization up and running with Google Workspace. Today, Sergio will spend about 10 to 15 minutes presenting a live demo, and I will be joining the second half for a Q&A session to answer some of the questions we've received from the question form. If you haven't done so, please submit your questions now to be selected for the Q&A session. You can find the link on the screen or click on the link in the video description. Back to Sergio.
Thank you, Tim. And remember, this session will be recorded and available for on-demand viewing. Now, let's look at our agenda. We'll create a new Google Workspace account, going through the full sign-up process, and in particular, we are going to purchase a new domain name during the sign-up. We will complete the billing setup, and after that, we will have 14 days of free trial for the Google Workspace subscription, during which you can try all the features and apps offered with it at no cost. Then we will review our newly purchased subscriptions, and we will see how to access the DNS console to manage your domain. At the end, we'll have the Q&A session. Remember to submit your questions using the form. So, why would you use to purchase a domain name during sign up for Google Workspace? Next slide, please. First of all, this is a good choice if you don't have a domain name yet, or if you want a new one for your email. This allows you to go through an easy setup of your account, so you won't need to verify your domain and to set up the MX DNS settings for activating your email service. You will be able to use one single console to manage both your domain and workspace subscriptions and payments options, and you will have one monthly invoice for both. Also, this comes with full control over your domain's DNS settings. Now, let's dive into the demo. We can go to the screen sharing. Okay, so let's start from the landing page, workspace.google.com. Here, we can click on Get Started at the top right corner of the screen to initiate the sign-up flow. Here, you need to add your business name. In our case, I'm going to use Meet the Expert. And select the number of users that need to use Google Workspace. For this demo, I'm going to select 2 to 9 users. Note that this is just for sending you suggestions, and it does not affect your future ability of creating users. The only exception is for more than 300 users, where you will need an Enterprise Edition of Google Workspace. Then, you have to select your business country. Please choose your region carefully, as it is immutable and cannot be changed afterwards. For example, I'm connected to my corporate network, so I get a German IP address, but I'm going to pick Switzerland because that's the country where I'm based in, and this will allow me to receive invoices with the correct bill to address and VAT. So let's click to Next now. Okay, let's add our contact info. First name, and for this demo, I'm gonna choose billing, and last name, expert. And then we need to add our current email address. This will be used as secondary contact for your workspace account, and it will receive important notification too. So please choose a valid email address. I'm using a testing one. And let's click to next. Does your business have a domain? As we said during this session, we are going to register a new domain through the Google Workspace sign-up flow. So we are going to select no, I need one. However, if you already own a domain that you have registered through registrars like GoDaddy, Enum, Domain Discount 24, or Google Domains, and you want to use it for your user emails, then you can follow our second webinar that will be held next week, and that will cover the sign-up flow with your own domain, including how to verify the domain and set up MX DNS records. So let's select no, I need one, and proceed. Now we have to find our own domain name. So we can use the search bar here to search for available domain names. And I can try multiple names. For example, Meet Experts. Here I can see the list of suggested domain names that are available with the corresponding price. Please remember that this price is before taxes. I can also try different options. For example, Meet the Expert. Okay. And for the purpose of this demo, I can choose meettheexpert.app. Let's select it and proceed. Here, you can confirm your choice or go back and select a different one. We are good with this selection for this demo, so we can go next. Here, we need to add our contact information for the domain registration, and I'm going to use the Google Office one. Let's pick the address. And it automatically fills the address and postal code and city. Then I need to add a business phone number. For doing this, I'm gonna stop screen sharing so that I can add my personal number, and then I resume after I click on next. Okay, we can now resume the screen sharing. And here we are asked if we want to receive occasional emails with tips and offers about Google Workspace. For the purpose of this demo, I'm selecting OK, I want to receive these emails. And here again, another selection, this time for your users. And if you want them to receive emails with new features and tips about productivity, remember that they can always opt out later. In this case, I'm again selecting OK. Perfect. So now we need to create our administrator user and select the username for it. You can select a username that better fits your business needs. For this demo, I'm selecting the expert, and the email address will be theexpert@meettheexpert.app. And also, I need to select a password here. So please choose a strong password. Okay. Also, as in most services, I have to complete a reCAPTCHA challenge. So let's try it, and it's good. Perfect. So we now can agree and continue. And remember that by continuing, we are agreeing to the Google Workspace Terms of Service. Let's click on Agree and Continue. And it'll take a couple of seconds. All right. So now we have to review our payment plan. Just note that you might receive some further verification. For example, you might be asked for a phone number to be verified through a verification code previously. But now we are here, and we here can see what's the Google Workspace edition that we will start with, and through which we will have 14 days of free trial. Note that during the trial, you are not going to be charged, and you can try the service for free. You can also downgrade or upgrade the subscription at any time, even during the trial period. At the end of the free trial, you will start being billed according to your plan, which is this one. Also, here you can select a currency from the ones available for your own country. In my case, I'm able to select either euros or US dollars, and I'm going to select euros. Okay, so let's go next. So now again, I'm going to stop sharing for a second so that I can remove sensitive information from this page. Okay, and we can resume sharing. So here we can review what we are going to purchase, which is 2 subscriptions, as we say, the Business Standard, the Google Workspace Business Standard edition, which will give us 14 days of free trial for a maximum of 10 users. And the other subscription is the domain registration one for our own domain, which is yearly and costs this amount for 1 year. Then later on, we are going to add payment information, and in particular the payment method. Depending on your country, you might have different payment methods. In this case, I'm able to pay with credit or debit card and with PayPal. I'm selecting credit card. Also, at the end of the page, you can choose whether to make your domain registration information private or public with this checkbox. And when possible, you have also the option to select a different registrar. For our domain, we only can select Google Domains. At the end of this page, we will agree and continue accepting the domain registration terms of service. So let's stop sharing now so that I can add my credit card information. And also my correct name. I'm clicking on agree and continue. It takes a couple of seconds to process the payment information. Okay, we can resume sharing now. We have completed the billing setup, and now we will continue for accessing the admin console. Okay, so this is how the admin console looks like. And here you can create new users and groups and manage your workspace account. Note that the domain registration is pending, and that's because we have just initiated the registration with the registrar, and it will complete later on. But remember that this doesn't take long. And after the registration is complete, you will be already able to start using your email service and Gmail and all the other workspace products included in your subscription. Now, I want you to look at our subscriptions. So from the left menu, we can go to billing and then subscriptions. Here we can see our currently active subscriptions, and we have, as we expected, the domain registration subscription and the Google Workspace Business Standard subscription. We can see also the payment plan for them and some information. But if we click on the subscription itself, we can go and see many more details. For example, the payment plan, how many licenses are assigned, the next billing date, and we also have options to view invoices, upgrade or downgrade the subscription, or even cancel the subscription. If we go back to the subscriptions page, we can see the same for the domain registration subscription. So if we click on it, we see its details. And again, payment plan, estimated yearly bill, and so on and so forth. Okay, so now we want to access the DNS console. From the domain registration subscription, we have here an option, Manage Domain. If we click on it, we will go to the Manage Domains page of the admin console. Here you can see your domains, and in particular our primary domain, which is already in the verified status. If we click on View Details, we will see a right panel showing up with additional details, and in particular, among here, we have the details for how to access the DNS console from the registrar. In this case, the registrar is Google Domain, and so we only have to click on the Manage Domain link here. I'm gonna click it, and it's gonna open a new tab with the Google Domains console. Perfect. So this is the Google Domains console, and here we can see that I need to verify my secondary email address. Also, here we have some other details about the domain registration. From the left menu, we can go to the registration settings. We have DNS options. We can also set up our own website with this domain name. If we go to the DNS page here, we can see the DNS records. We can set up new records, new entries, create subdomains. And I want you to know that here in the Google Workspace set, if we open it, we already have the MX records for the email service of Google Workspace. So you don't need to do that. It's already done by the registration flow. Okay, now let's go back to the admin console. Let me close this tab. And I want to go back to the billing subscriptions page. Because I want to discuss with you the options about canceling the service. Because while on free trial, you can cancel your Workspace subscription at any point and not be charged at all. In this case, you can just go to the subscription, to the Google Workspace subscription, and click on Cancel Subscription here. And then you just have to follow the instructions. If you want, you can also cancel your domain subscription. So if we go back to subscriptions and then domain registration, we have an option to cancel it. After we cancel the domain registration, it will not automatically renew. However, you will still have to pay for the first year, and you will lose your domain after it expires. If you want, you can also transfer your domain to another host and continue managing it outside of the admin console. You can find a link with more information in the video description. Okay, this completes our demo. Now, let's move to the Q&A session and check out some of the popular questions that we've received so far. I'm going to read the first question for Tim. Tim, how do I purchase another domain under the same account?
The answer is you cannot purchase another domain after your Google Workspace signup is complete. If you want to purchase another domain, you can always buy them through one of the available registers like GoDaddy, Enum, Domain Discount 24, or Google Domains, and you can always add it to your Workspace account as a secondary domain. I will read out the second question to Sergio. Why am I billed twice? I was told that I was going to get a 14 days free trial, but I was getting charged that first day. What's happening?
Good question. So As we said, during this sign-up flow, while purchasing a domain, we have two different subscriptions, one for the domain and one for Google Workspace. The Google Workspace one offers the 14 days free trial, while you still have to pay for your domain registration. So this is why after the 14 days of trial, you get billed again. Thank you for the question. So let's move to the next one. None of my payment methods were accepted while starting the new Google Workspace account.
Depending on the country you're based in, there are different payment methods that are available for you to choose from. Some instruments such as prepaid card, virtual cards are not accepted. You can check our documentation for a complete list of accepted payment methods. If indeed really all of the valid payment method doesn't work, please feel free to contact Google Workspace support to get help. Next question. How to cancel the domain subscription?
Thank you for the question. So as we saw in the demo, during the demo, you can go to the billing subscriptions page, click on your domain registration subscription, and then you'll have an option for canceling it. Remember that this stops automatic renewal of the domain. And in this case, you might want to transfer the domain to another host. Let's go to the next question. How do I verify my domain that I purchased through Google Workspace?
Good question. So when you purchase a domain during the Google Workspace sign-up flow, like we did in the demo, the domain is automatically verified. You don't have to perform any actions. The same applies for the MX DNS records for your email service as well. So the short answer is you don't have to do anything if your domain is purchased from Google Workspace. Next question. So why is my subscription suspended, and what options do I have when that happens?
Oh, that's a great question. There might be multiple reasons actually for an account to be suspended. The most common one is related to your payments. For example, after an automatic payment failed, or if your primary form of payment is not valid. Another form of suspension happens when the account is not compliant with the terms of service for Google Workspace. But the administrator of the account and the secondary email receive email notifications with warnings before the suspension happens and when the suspension happens. And those emails contain details about the reason for the suspension and what to do to reinstate the account. So I strongly suggest you to go and check your emails for details about that. Thank you for the question. So the next question is, how do I get my email to work if I transferred my domain from a previous account?
Yeah, this is exactly what we'll cover in our next session on December the 14th, which is like we will set up a Workspace account with your own domain that is brought to you. It's not like purchased from the sign-up flow. And we will cover this in the next session. Please stay tuned. Next question is, how do I separate my Google Workspace account from Wix when I purchase the Google Workspace account through Wix?
So this is an interesting question. Thanks for this question. Usually, these transfers are regulated by the entity that provisions the account. So you should check the Wix support information. You can check the public app center. I'm pretty sure that you will find the exact steps that you will have to do to transfer your account from Wix directly to Workspace. And again, sorry if this answer is not precise, but this is regulated by your registrar, which you have set relationships with. Thank you for the question. I believe this was the last question. So thank you everyone for joining us. We'd really appreciate if you could provide feedback on this session. You can find the link to the form on screen or click on the link in the video description. You will also find some other useful links in the video description that we suggest you to take a look at for more details on the topics covered during this webinar.
And remember to join our next week's webinar for the admins who want to use their own domain to register with Google Workspace. It's happening on December the 14th at the same day as today's session. To see the full schedule, check out the Meet Expert website in the video description. Stay healthy and stay safe. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.